Here we are at Rodeo Row with a great character, an amazing coach, a mad scientist. Matt Patricia in the house with Spencer G.
A lot of people must be asking about the pen. Like, where's the pen?
Yeah, the
behind
pencil.
the ear,
Everyone's
right?
like, "Where's the pencil? Where's the pencil?" Yeah. We left that at home today.
So usually you're used to being just like in a hotel and not being able to go anywhere at Super Bowl week. Isn't that true?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is the first time kind of seeing it on this side. And seeing the excitement and the fans and the city and kind of feeling the energy build. For the most part, we're just closed in our offices, worried about trying to game plan against the opponent. So this is great.
It's funny seeing the media side and now you. And how's it like with Bill Belichick and now you guys can like talk? And it seems like Bill and you are like everywhere now, doesn't it?
Well, you know what? We love to teach the game. We love the game, and it's kind of fun to be that educator. Get behind the scenes, tell everybody what we'd be thinking or what's going on, and give that different perspective to it. It's really great.
Absolutely, and we have Julian Edelman. I know he has his own podcast. It seems like everybody's starting up their podcast. But what's it like now with Gronk and so many of your former players like getting in the media?
Yeah, I love it. I saw a bunch of them today, and I think I take a lot of joy and happiness in watching these guys because I think they do a great job. And look, they were great players, but they were great students of the game, and they learned the game a certain way. And I think it really, just transfers into the media, and they can give the fans kind of that inside look from the players' perspective.
Absolutely. We talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're a part of their staff, and I guess you could kind of see like Jeffrey Lurie and just how well run the Eagles are. I know you went 10-1, started out, still made the playoffs, and that was considered a down year.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it about the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni that makes them so successful?
Yeah, I mean, I love this organization. Jeffrey Lurie is a phenomenal owner, all the way to Howie Roseman, who does an incredible job of building the team and, running the building. Then Nick Sirianni, who's, one of my favorite people. He just great people, great organization. It's a family atmosphere. Big Dom, who's been a lifelong friend of mine, and one of the reasons I went to Philly last year was to be with him. And I just loved it there. I love the fans. I love the city. I lived in Center City. I'm an Italian, American, so being in South Philly, that was home for me. Everyone made me feel like family. And look, the one thing I would say is this: they just have a great culture. Nick does a great job with the team, really connecting to the guys. The guys play hard. They got great players there. Darius Slay, leadership. Lane Johnson. They just have great guys there, and certainly bringing in Barkley, who I love, and Hurts, all of them, right? AJ Smitty, so many great players there. I just love what they're doing, and look, I can relate. I remember, in 2014, we went to the Super Bowl and we won. We had a good year against Seattle. Next year, 2015, we had a good team, but we just ran out of gas. And we did the same thing. We lost, I think, 5 out of the last 7. We kind of skipped into the playoffs. We got beat. And then the next year we went back to the Super Bowl and won. So I see that same mode in Philly right now. I see they're getting stronger as the year's going. They had a little bit of a longer offseason. I think they're ready to go, and I'm excited for this weekend.
So, Matt, I have a question for you. We ask this all the time. You're a schemer. You're a guy who loves to watch the matchup. So we want you to give us a little eye on. Go in that crystal ball. What is going to happen in the Super Bowl that people aren't really expecting? Give us like a little slant on something that might be a bit atypical, and feel free to conjure up whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I think it's really unique when you look at Kansas City, and I think everyone's like, how are they winning? How are they winning? They're just winning in a different way. It's not the traditional, I'm going to run the ball and control the game, Kansas City, or, they have turnovers early in the game. People are like, oh, they're going to lose the turnover battle. They're doing a great job with hidden yardage. Their special teams do a great job in the return game. Patrick Mahomes in the scramble and the extended plays. That yardage, that eating up the clock is where they're really winning, and they're winning on third down. And Philly is just that big, tough, physical offensive line, Jeff Stoutland, defensive line. Those guys are beating you up. And that's the matchup I'm looking for. Is I just want to see Philly just really dominate up front, both sides of the ball, and take it to them and really, take the ball away from Mahomes. And the key will be, that defense, which is the number 1 defense in the league right now for Philadelphia, stopping Patrick Mahomes in those situational plays. And again, I've been saying this, there's one other team right now besides Philly that's played in the Super Bowl that's had the number 1 defense and the number 1 leading rusher in the NFL, and that was the 92 Cowboys. So I like Philly.
No, and it's unbelievable. I mean, they take Mekhi Becton, who in New York struggled a little bit at tackle. 7th-round pick Mailata.
Yeah.
Isn't it incredible with Stoutland? And you have franchises like maybe the Giants, or a lot of franchises, they draft linemen high, talented linemen. The Eagles just seem to hit. Do you think it's all about the development, or?
It is, and that was what I came from in New England with Dante Scarnecchia, and we developed so many great offensive linemen there. And Jeff Stoutland and I worked together at Syracuse University, and he is a masterful offensive line coach. To watch him develop those guys, and Jeff and I spent a lot of time, actually, when I got to Philly last year on the offensive side of the ball with Jeff and talking about defense and run game, and to watch him teach those guys and be up close and, see him do all that again. He's an unbelievable developer of talent, and I think that's
Matt,
the, that's
it's
the key.
interesting. It's funny you bring it up. We had a long-form interview with Stout today.
Oh, nice.
And we talked a lot about using the hands, right?
Yeah.
And he discussed about the drills they do, and you've seen it. You
Yep.
saw it all last year.
Yeah.
Just the drills. He says, I don't do this twice a week. He goes, we do these hand drills every day.
Every day.
And he said, when our players go to a different team, he sees them going through the same hand drills. I know you're a precise guy.
Yeah.
And you're a technique guy, so
Yeah.
that had to be great watching Stout do his thing.
It's great, and actually, my coaching background, I go back to Syracuse University, and both, Jeff Stoutland and I both learned from a guy by the name of George DeLeon at Syracuse University, a great offensive line coach. I coached O-line with George at Syracuse, went to New England, was originally an offensive line coach for 2 years. So getting back to Philly, getting back with Stout, and watching all those drills that we did, 25 years ago, coming back into play. I mean, it's like home. You love it.
It's so timeless. We have one final question again. You've been so kind with your time. One of my favorite interviews all week, Matty P.
Appreciate it.
So, Bill's at North Carolina now. Do him and Lombardi call you to scout players for college, or what do you think's next for you? Would you maybe look at the college game? And with NIL, it seems like a really fun place with the portal and what Bill's doing. Would you maybe look at college, or what's next for you, Matt?
I appreciate that. I think the college game is really interesting, and you're right. I think you can build rosters really quickly now in college football. It's a struggle to keep them, but you can build them pretty quick. And I just love, they got the playoff system, so it feels more like our game, and I think you can develop players really well. So so there's some really cool college things that are going on in football. I love the NFL. Doing a little media this year, so a little bit different for me, but I just love being a fan. I love the game. I miss Philly. That was great. That felt like home. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you're always welcome in Philly. You're here at Rover Sports Philly. Matt, you're a wonderful guy, as we expected. Thanks so much for your time.